Hey everybody, welcome back to Home Studio Pro. You can see that I've got the headset mic. Yeah, this is the Sennheiser 416, but I'll move it away. This is the Beyerdynamic DT797PV. It's a headset that I saw. I was very interested in it because of its sound. It's a condenser microphone, so more of a deeper, fuller, richer, better sound for me, quite honestly, than a lot of the dynamic headsets that I've seen out there. And by the way, I've got the Sennheiser HMD26s right over here that I am about to plug in and do an A/B comparison with. I'm also realizing that as I use this headset mic, I'm trying to find the optimal spot here for the capsule so that there's the least amount of plosives. I feel like I might have popped some peas already in this video, but I also want to keep a little bit of proximity, right? So maybe a certain distance away from my mouth, but not directly in front of it. But a headset mic for a guest is great, right? Because you don't need to worry about their mic technique, or if you're the presenter or host of a live stream or something else, you can move your head all the way around. I can be off mic, I can move around. This is something I cannot do with the 416 right here, which I will also throw in the mix here and let you compare and hear in just a second. It's also important to let you know I'm doing this in a room that is terribly treated. No acoustic help whatsoever. A lot of reflective surfaces, glass behind me, hard walls all the way around me, a big table right out in front of me. So judge this mic for what it is in this environment. A really bad environment, so if it sounds good here, imagine what it would do in a much better space. I'm running this mic through the Rodecaster Pro 2 at 29 dB. I've got no processing on right now, but that is something I am kind of interested in. If I turn the processing on, maybe you hear a bit of a different sound here already. I'll do it in the neutral mode. I'll give that just a second. I'll then put it into podcast studio mode, so maybe a little bit more compressed. Let's see, it's got depth, sparkle, and punch, probably each at about 60%. And then I'm sure broadcast is, all the way up, basically, on everything. I might even dive into the processing here and do a little custom job. Maybe bring up the low cut a little bit higher. This mic has a lot of low end to it. In terms of de-essing, I'm not too worried about that. We are getting a little bit of effect there. I think, at 5,000 hertz, so that's to be expected. Noise gate wise, this is a condenser. You just heard me go all the way to the bottom, and there was a little bit of room noise, but it's a pretty quiet mic. There's not a lot of self noise here. Might bring this back down just a little bit. There we go. I kind of like that setting there. We bring the threshold up just a little bit. Hysteresis, turn that up a little bit, and then attack. And release, I'm going to make them just a little bit quicker. Okay, so I'm doing these custom settings here for the Beyerdynamic DT797PV. Now I'm at the compressor. I'm going to bring this up to about 3. I kind of like where I'm at gain-wise. I might bring the threshold up just a little bit more and kind of see how that goes. Faster attack, faster release. And then eventually I get here to the equalizer. Now this is more of a carve on my sound than anything else. I'll start here with the low side. I'll kind of bring it back down to maybe like 84, 85. It's fine. Maybe I'll bring down the push just a little bit. Low gain of maybe like 1. It doesn't need a lot. Remember, we've already low cut it even higher than this. In fact, let's bring up the low bell to like 90. Mid bell, let's kind of get rid of some of this mud here in maybe the 450 range, somewhere in there, to kind of clear up the vocals. And then I don't think we need this all the way at 10,000. I'd rather have it maybe here 7 or 8. We'll bring this up just a little bit. This mic doesn't need a lot of help with the presence. Big bottom and oral exciter both being used. If I turn them off here, you hear a little bit of difference right there, right? And then I'll turn it back on, and it's just got a little bit more of a boost here. So those are the settings, right, that I've gone with here. And then panning, I don't need to worry about that. So now we're back. And just in terms of how it sounds, like this is maybe more of a custom sound. I still think there might be too much bottom end on this mic. But to really kind of reset your palette, so to speak, I'll come back in here and I will turn all of the processing off, right? So all of the processing on this mic is off. And I'll give you a quick sample here. Beyerdynamic's DT797 headset has been developed for intercom purposes in very loud environments like concerts and sporting events, where isolation of ambient noise, durability, and comfort are of prime importance. The powerful 5 to 30,000 hertz frequency response provides a perfectly balanced sound characteristic. The sound isolating housing and soft skin ear pads offers superb isolation from ambient noise. And I do have to tell you, above anything else, how this headset sounds is how it feels. These are basically like DT770s on your head. So good seal, good sound isolation, not active, but passive sound cancellation. And the response, the audio response of the sounds I hear are tremendous in here. These are very good headphones, despite also having a very good microphone as part of it. Okay, so that's the DT797PV from Beyerdynamic. Can't recommend it enough. I hope you enjoyed the sound that it produces. Now let me switch over to the Sennheiser HMD 26s. Okay, and we're back. Welcome to the Sennheiser HMD 26, which you can obviously tell immediately has a totally different sound, but it's a different product, right? It's a different microphone. It's a dynamic, and because of that, I'm gained up all the way here at 55 dB. I do not have any processing on with the Rodecaster. I can turn some of that on. Again, I think this is just the neutral setting. I can do podcast studio. I can do broadcast. And maybe this one sounds even a little bit better and more balanced. I feel like this mic, the EQ on it, just has such a mid-forward sound. And also, it's sounding a little distorted right now in the headphones, too. And I don't know if that's because... It's because I was just listening to, something like the Beyerdynamics, which sound more like the DT770s. But look, I've used these headphones and this mic before on actual television broadcasts, and I feel like this mic is more made for television purposes and sound isolation purposes. These headphones are light; they don't wear on you as much as the Beyerdynamics do. Just in terms of overall headphones and smaller cup size, they don't go obviously all the way around your ear like those do, and this sounds different. To be quite honest, I'm not sure it sounds better. Like, these are good enough for TV. I feel like with the DT797PVs, a condenser microphone, that's a better sound for a live stream, for something that is going to have a critical listening audience as part of your product. Let me go back here to the Rodecaster. I'm going to go ahead and just turn all the processing back off again. Like I said before, 55 dB. I could come in here and try and carve up maybe the sound signature here a little bit, roll it off a little bit higher. I'm not too worried about the de-esser, noise gate. Now, again, this is a dynamic. Let me turn this off. Ooh, can you hear that? Decent amount of hiss and self-noise in there. But again, that's a dynamic mic, and that is kind of a product of that. Bring that here maybe a little bit lower, the range and the threshold. Okay. I think we're set there. Let's go to the compressor, give a little bit more makeup gain, bring the ratio up just a little bit more, and the threshold to maybe 22 or so. Attack down, quick release. Equalizer-wise, now this is the hard part. I don't even know really where to start on this. I do need some more presence, but I also feel like this mic does need a little bit more low end. It's mid forward, I know that, so I don't want to take too much out of here. But see, you can see the different sound if I bring up that mid to different levels right here. It's too low, but somewhere in there maybe. And this could use some more toying around. Here's the exciter off. Here's the exciter back on. And I'm just doing this on the fly. So maybe all of this is for naught. Maybe this sounds better completely raw and unprocessed. But this is what the HMD 26 sounds like from Sennheiser. So you can do the back and forth. In fact, maybe I'll put on the 797s to end this video, but clearly a different sound from this headset than something else. Okay, let's switch. You know what? Let's actually bring in the Sennheiser MKH416. Now, totally unfair comparison here. This is a shotgun mic. This is used for a totally different purpose. I use this here in the remote studio. You've probably seen it on other videos. But here is how this sounds as opposed to, you bring in the 797PV, right? So it's a similar sound. Again, this one has a little bit more low end and Just make sure that I'm not processing anything here on this mic. But here's how this sounds as opposed to the 416, right? So a little bit more room noise, a little bit more of an airy sound, an open sound, both using condenser principles, this being a shotgun mic. There's a little bit of a tonality difference here. I do want to point out that headsets may never be at the same level of something like this, a 416, but I do think you can be quite happy with this microphone. And for live streams, for guests, these headphones, for whatever reason, this headset, it is not extremely popular. I've not seen these on a lot of different people, but I really do like the way they sound. I mean, listen to this. This has kind of like a radio broadcast quality sound, almost a podcast sound. And this is, again, a really bad acoustic room. So if you like the way this sounds, and yeah, I do realize it would offer a little bit more breath noise, I need to figure out the positioning of the mic and the boom, I think. But other than that, they make this version of headphones and headset in a dynamic as well, too. That's a different model number, but this is the condenser. This is the one I wanted to try. They come in blue, which maybe, I don't know, distracts some people. Maybe some people don't care, but you get the benefits of a DT770 style headphone with a condenser mic. For me, this is the perfect fit. And those Sennheisers, the HMD 26s, I mean, these are used on sports broadcasts the world over. These are very popular headphones. These are the gold standard, quite honestly. But I'm here to tell you that my preference are these, the 797 from Beyerdynamic. So check these out. They're not widely known, but they should be. Hey, since you've watched here all the way to the end of the video, thumbs up if it provided you some value or entertainment. And also don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You know, I've got lots more great stuff coming your way in the very near future. See you then.